Both It, directed by Andrew Muschietti, and Don't Breathe, directed by Fede Alvarez, use a variety of techniques to create fear in their viewers. It is based off of the book by Stephen King and is a film reboot of the 1990 miniseries directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. The movie follows a group of young teenagers around the hometown of Derry. Derry isn't a normal town, however, and every 27 years, multiple children are reported missing and are never found. Each member of the group has a run-in with their greatest fears and eventually meets the source of all the fear, It. It takes the form of Pennywise the dancing clown, the antagonist, which it uses to lure some kids instead of transforming into their fears to scare them. The storyline of It isn't exactly realistic, however, and due to this, without visual effects, the film wouldn't necessarily be scary to the viewer. Don't Breathe is an original film. The movie follows three teenagers who attempt to rob a blind war veteran's house. The task seems easy, but after one is killed and they are locked in the house, everything goes pitch black. From here it becomes a fight for their lives, and they uncover even darker secrets in the basement of the house. This film's storyline is a lot more realistic and doesn't rely on visual effects as much to scare viewers. Film effects used in both films include lighting throughout the movie, mise-en-scène in set design and costumes, and sound used in the form of a soundtrack or sound effects. Firstly, lighting in the two films is used in different ways to put fear in the viewer. Both films utilise the different types of light in different situations to deliver different messages. These different forms of light include bright light, shadows, and darkness. During It, all these light types are frequently used. Pennywise, the antagonist, is a creature of darkness, and this is reflected through lighting, as he is rarely seen in full light. He is only shown in either dark places with slight detailed glimpses of his face, or if he is seen in a bright place, the sun is always on an angle, and he is half in shadow. This makes the viewer physically see him as a dark character throughout the whole film, and associates him with darkness, evil, and fear. Most scenes in Don't Breathe feature very dark lighting due to most of the film being set in a house with no lights. In almost every scene, light is low, and most of the time it is just enough to see what the characters are doing in the house. The brightest lights are used in reflections from windows onto characters' faces so that their expressions can be seen clearly, and the viewer understands how they are feeling. However, the antagonist, the blind guy, has less light on his face, as he is viewed as a bad guy throughout the whole film, and like Pennywise, he becomes associated with darkness and fear. Lighting in Don't Breathe is especially limited and instead relies on sound. Therefore, light is used to define characters in different ways and to develop fear around them. Secondly, sound is an extremely useful film technique that can completely change the mood of a scene and deliver a different message that can't be represented using visuals. To add to the mystery and darkness of Don't Breathe, non-diegetic background noise is only used in situations where there is no diegetic noise. This adds tension as there is less of an idea of what is happening in the scene, and it prepares viewers for an intense scene coming up. When someone starts talking or other diegetic noise is used, the background goes completely silent and the diegetic noise is enhanced. This non-diegetic silence is especially prominent in intense scenes. It is the opposite to Don't Breathe, as more non-diegetic background noise is used in intense scenes to continue building through the intense section than dropping into the non-intense. When people are talking, there is generally only diegetic noise, as the main focus is them talking. This is different to Don't Breathe, and instead of non-diegetic silence making it intense, it makes it calm, as the visuals are clearly calm and the voices are calm. Hence, sound is vital in creating intense scenes which develop fear in the viewer. Finally, mise-en-scène is used to create tension in the viewer in both films. The use of costumes, makeup, and sets is what we picture when viewing a film and is a vital way to push fear in the viewer. It heavily relies on mise-en-scène to create visual-based fear. Pennywise has an extremely scary costume and makeup design. Whether you have a fear of clowns or not, his appearance is one of the scariest ever featured in a film. This is assisted by dark areas that Pennywise appears in, such as sewers and abandoned houses, which are generally scary without a psychopathic clown in them. However, Don't Breathe takes on another approach to using mise-en-scène to develop fear. Instead of making costumes scary, they look bland and regular, making you initially view the characters as normal. But as the film progresses, you learn he is a monster inside, adding another element of surprise as you don't know when other characters could turn evil and what they could do next. The set in this film is bland as well, but this too develops throughout the movie and is uncovered that it is evil. Initially the set is dark, which is scary to start with, which is the main source of fear early in the movie. Both It, directed by Andre Muschietti, and Don't Breathe, directed by Fede Alvarez, use a variety of techniques to create fear in their viewers. Lighting is extremely useful to develop fear associated with a character or location through the use of darkness and shadows. Reflections and bright light can be used to uncover darker things such as revealing a character's expression or something previously hidden in the set. Sound adds an extra layer of depth to an already scary scene and can make it more intense, making a viewer fear what is coming next. Mise-en-scene is vital in developing fear as it is responsible for making a place or a character scary. All these different techniques used together can create an amazingly detailed film that can truly scare the viewer.